With the news on the floor. Get down.
Let me clear my throat. Yeah, oh, that's better. That's better. Somebody pass around the offering. Since I'm always preaching on tracks, you feel me? I'm about to get paid for it. Sermon of the day. You right where you supposed to be, baby. Informants informing, that information forming. Important you get a portion of fortune pouring. Confession, fortunately, blessings are not a snoring. You mellow, so focus on scoring. Got you underperforming. I never expect something, never assume nothing. Judging me for my past, but that's why I'm triumphant. I don't demand, I know where I stand like engineer hands. Watch how my life pans. That game plan, show out like a jotter, pop out like a cutter. Telling the kick rock, skipping the course, squares like hopscotch. This gonna be my mood to my beat drop. Putting my boogie shoes in my diddy boots, ain't no stop. I'ma make the rest of my life live. Yeah, I'ma make the rest of my life live. Gonna make the rest of my life the best of my life. Yeah, I'ma make the rest of my life live. I'ma make the rest of my life live. Gonna make the rest of my life the best of my life. Congratulations on the celebration. I know I don't whip out a need of a validation. No congratulations on no celebration. I know I don't whip out a need of a validation. Yeah. If having hope is dangerous, call me evil Knievel. You leading on the wrong side, living with peasant needles. So lethal, made Shane Black wanna write a sequel. Cause I snuggle my dream till it's seen as illegal. And I still probably will, cause I can never give up. I got my goals calling me, how could I never pick up? Either we make up or just break up. With a snake hits, get the rake up. Yeah, selfish, I'ma cake up. If I don't shake me to wake up. Let my depression catapult me to succession. Shine a light on my imperfections like a projection. Every struggle and lesson, your issues ain't your oppression. Never got a question, they pushing me to progression like I'ma make the rest of my life live. Yeah, I'ma make the rest of my life live. Gonna make the rest of my life the best of my life. Yeah, I'ma make the rest of my life live. I'ma make the rest of my life.
Happy Thursday, everybody. Happy Thursday. How y'all doing? How y'all doing, good people? I hope you are doing well. Welcome to Thursday night with me, your girl, Lady Dawn B. We're here on the Bravo with Sheila Network, the most amazing network in these YouTube streets. I know it and you know it, so we might as well say it. Yep, absolutely biased. It is what it is, y'all. It is what it is. But good evening. I hope you are all doing well. I see it's going to be one of these nights. So I'm going to ask you in advance to work with us tonight as we are having some strange windy weather conditions going here by me in these good old mountains. But you know how we do. We press through regardless. Right. So again, welcome. I'm glad to be here. If you had a day like I did, I know you're glad that the work day is over and there's only one more day and tomorrow will be Friday, so it won't even matter. Right. So good evening, everybody. Good evening. Thank you for joining. I am excited and glad to be here on tonight as every Thursday is. And again, for those who don't know, I am your girl, Lady Dawn B, your Thursday night host here on the Bravo with Sheila Network. And I just want to say thank you all for joining on tonight. February has been an amazing month. We've been talking about love talk all month long. We've been talking love, and more love. And we're going to get into it even deeper on tonight. I got some good people coming through, so I hope everybody is ready. And we just going to let them do what they do. Anyway, I want to first start by saying good evening to everyone. Welcome to the space. I hope you're ready for some great conversation. Yes, and yes. So on tonight, want to greet some people in the building. Of course, first, as always, we want to pay homage to the Queen Bee of the Bravo with Sheila Network, none other than Pastor Sheila Ingram herself. And I always like to start out by thanking her for being such a gracious host and yielding me this captain chair every Thursday night to come spend time with you. And so we appreciate you being in the building. We are a non-Christian. We are not a Christian network. However, most of us that come onto the platform, we are believers, but this is a space that welcomes all thoughts, feelings, opinions. The only and the number one and the main thing is that we are respectful one to another in this conversation. We come to have great dialogue. We come to converse one with the other. And most of all, we come to glean from each other, right? We want to be the best version of ourselves so that as we are showing up in relationships, we are showing up as the better versions of ourselves, right? Right. So we're going to ask that everyone is respectful in the comment section as well as conversation, because if we find that there's an issue, we will have to remove you. And that's just how we do. So we appreciate everyone playing nicely and getting along with one another. So on tonight, I want to first say good evening to our gracious moderator, Lady Ine Kenya, is in the building on tonight. So thank you for joining. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And let's see, it looks like we have some first time people in the building. YD53, thank you for joining us. Yes, this is a non-profanity space. So we do ask again, everyone is respectful. Yes, love games. We got it is. Not those kind of games. So we ask you to be mindful. Let's see, Sus Monkey. I'm not sure who you might be, but welcome, welcome, and welcome again. Thank you for joining us on tonight. Want to say good evening to my mom, Pastor Rosa, in the building. And we thank you so much for joining us on tonight, Mom. And yes, YG53, I'm going to have to ask you to please be respectful because the person that you are speaking with or referring to with Rosa Griffin is my mom. So I will ask our moderator, Ine, to remove you from the room. We have no problem doing so, because we are going to have a respectful conversation on tonight. So yes, please feel free, Ine, to remove those who need to be removed so that we can keep the integrity of our space on this evening. All right. And so therefore, we thank you for being with us tonight. We don't want to be distracted. And y'all bear with me one moment. Because we see how this is going this evening. So, all right. So anyway, guys, want to first of all, again, welcome everyone. Pastor Tammy, see you in the house on tonight. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. On tonight, you being in the building. It's good to see you, Mama T. Let's see who else we got. Michelle is in the house. Thank you so much for joining us on tonight, my sis. And I see a special guest in the building on tonight. I'm very happy to see. Welcome to the space, Mr. Roderick Brown. Thank you for joining us. I'm so glad you were able to make it. And we hope that you come back again and be in the midst of us. We appreciate you and your presence on tonight. So, everyone, again, I'm your Thursday night host, Lady Dawn B. This is the Bravo with Sheila Network. We appreciate you being here with us on tonight. I also want to invite you to like, to subscribe, and to share on this channel so that you do not miss any of the good conversations that go down, so that you don't miss any amazing content that we share. And I want to make sure that you also show up on Monday nights for my girls, Coach Pache and Dr. Elaine Edwards. They come on Monday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and they host Monday Beyond the Mic, and they help get us right from the inside out. So that's a good conversation to be had. We also have, if you do, as I said before, we are not a Christian-based network, although most of us that do come on are believers that we share on the panel. However, We welcome everyone's thoughts, feelings, and opinions. We just again ask that you be respectful, and if we find that you cannot, we will have to remove you. No problem. No love lost. It's all good. But we definitely manage the integrity of this space. So we don't want to have to remove anyone, but we will. No problem. So anyway, if you find that you do need some spiritual guidance, maybe a little encouragement, a little extra what we actually do is go across the street to the Sheila Ingram Ministries network. And over there, you will find that there is a host of conversations that go down over there. Pastor Sheila is on just about every day in some way, shape, or form, whether she is sharing through music, through song, through meditation, through the Kabbalah, through prayer, as well as sharing an encouraging word from the word, if that is your choice. Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We also have coming on my mom. That's right. I am her 404. She has 4 kids and I'm her last one. Literally, she is the person of Pastor Rosa. She comes on Tuesday mornings at 10 a.m. and she always comes sharing a great word of encouragement. We also have on Fridays the Women of Grace, this dynamic trio of the gospel. An amazing combination. So we invite you to join them on Fridays at 11 a.m. across the street on the Sheila Ingram Ministries Network. And over there, you will find the 3 of them, which is Pastor Sheila, my mom, Pastor Rosa, and I call her Auntie Jenny. She's AKA Auntie Gangsta. She is good to go. Reverend Jenny, she's over there. And they share in the dialogue. They've been going through the women of the Bible, and it has been amazing conversation. So I believe those are all of the announcements that we have. I feel like we're in church. And again, our disclaimers have been put out there. So I want to thank everyone again for coming in and for being a part of this amazing new year. This month of February has been great. We have been having love talk all month long, and we hope that you've been taking some stuff away with you and putting it into practice. But we are not experts. We are just experts in what goes on in our lives. Although some of us are legitimate, licensed, and certified counselors and clinicians and therapists. Holding many degrees. These moments that we have are not that, but we can link you with someone who is, if you find that you should need that type of assistance. However, on tonight, we just come to have a conversation. That's all. We want to have real talk with real resolutions. We're not here to convict nor to convince anyone. We are here to just have conversations so that we can start improving ourselves. The relationship with ourselves is the most important one. And when we have a better relationship with who we are, we show up in our spaces better. And we are better to those who are around us and who we are connected to. So with that being said, I want to bring up to this platform. He is no stranger. I know you're getting used to hearing his voice and you should, because he's great and he's amazing. And we have a few more panelists that will be coming. They will come and add to this conversation. But hey, we're here now. So we're going to roll with it. I'm just going to ask, if you don't mind, if you would just hit that thumbs up button. It is free 99. It costs you nothing, but it means everything to us, as it helps to push us up. It helps with our algorithm. It helps to get our content out into the world, into these YouTube streets, and gets us to share with more people. So if you don't mind, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Please, ma'am, just hit that thumbs up button for us. We appreciate it. And share this stream with someone. Share it to your Facebook page. Share it to everywhere. You ain't got to pick. Just share it all over the place. Just share, because we want to get some good people in and have some great conversation and good times on tonight. So I believe that is everything. I'm trying to make sure that I remember to tell you all the things that we usually tell you, and I believe we have. But before we do bring up the first guest, I do want to say good evening to those who are in the silent section, in the expensive seats. I didn't forget about you. Just want to say good evening to you. Invite you to come on down to the comment section and share and talk with us on tonight. All right, y'all, come on in the room. I promise you, no one is going to hurt you. We keep it respectful. We got security down here. We just want to greet you properly and get you into this wonderful safe space. All right. So, as I was saying, on tonight, I'm going to bring up my good brother, my big bro. Love him like none other. And if you say he's anything different, I'll tell you a lie. Okay. He is in the person of Rock Nobles. Bring him to the platform. Hey, big bro.
What's up, sis?
How you doing, sir? How you doing?
All right, and yourself?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm glad to see you on this evening.
You're looking very nice this evening, girl. Look at you.
Well, thank you.
I thought I was underdressed. I was like, oh, wait a minute. Let me go put my clergy on or something. Jeez.
No, don't do it. Don't do it. You put your
like,
clergy.
oh my goodness.
Don't put it on. You put your clergy on. That means I got to put my clergy on.
Oh man.
We don't need collars today. We not doing collars.
Okay.
But thank you. You know, we got to come through. It's what we do. We got to come through. Make it happen. I'm glad to have you on tonight. Guys, I really want you to love on my big brother, Rock. He is the best to ever do it. And I appreciate him being here. And you're going to see a whole lot more of him because he is going to be co-anchoring with me, the lead moderator, but co-anchoring with me over in the men's lounge segment as we bring that back. So it's just the men. I'm the only estrogen that is in the space when the men's lounge goes down, but he is going to be helping lead conversation and get the men to talk. And so ladies, when that happens, get your pen, get your paper, get your questions, be prepared to be quiet and lean in and take notes. Because we want to make sure that we hear from our men so that they could dispel some of the myths of things that, you know, we have believed down through the years. But when it comes out of the mouth of a man, you really should believe what he's saying, right? We shouldn't be adding our own narrative to it, right? So thank you, Rock, for being in the house on tonight. I'm sure the rest of our crew is coming, but we going to roll like we do. It's Big Bro Basic Little Sis night tonight.
That's right.
We good how we do. So on tonight, our final topic for the month of February is called Love Games. And this topic we've talked about last week. We talked about intimacy and intentional healing. That was good. The week before, what did we talk about? I forgot. We talked about so many things. I forgot we talked about. We had a lot of talk. My mind is moving forward, not backwards. But this month has been all about love, right? So
right.
we talking about love games. And thought of love games is the games that people play.
Right.
When we're talking about love. Because it seems that it is so hard. Like, why are so many of us struggling to have, number one, a relationship, and then number two, to have a good relationship, number three, to have a good and healthy relationship, and number four, to have a good, healthy, and long-lasting relationship? What is the problem? There's so many single people, and everybody's talking about they're ready to be, you know, with their purpose partner and they're everlasting, but we all still single. So what is happening? Something ain't right. Somebody lying. Somebody ain't telling us. And I believe it is because of all the games that we play throughout relationships, thinking that we have to act one way to get someone's attention or to be one way in order to get the person we want, but that person doesn't really want us. And we are really putting ourselves at a disadvantage. So tonight, we want to have a little Q&A and talk about the male side of things and the female side of things so we can get a better understanding of each other. So, Rock, come on and help me in this conversation and share, when you hear the term love games, what does that say to you?
Love games? People, you know, like people playing hard to get and people not being upfront and honest about their intentions. People that's like, they're not in it for the longevity. They're just in it for something to do for the moment, something to do for that season. People, you know, trying to put notches in their belts. You know, trying to, you know, it's so many different ways you can go with the love games. Because, you know, people, but mainly it's just people just not being honest with their intention. And if you're a smooth talker, whether you're a woman or a man, if you're a smooth talker, you could win a lot of people over just by your words and everything. And you deceive people. When you think of games, you think of deceitfulness. That they're being deceitful.
And that's true. That's true. And that's a lot of the problem in relationships, is that we're afraid to show up as our authentic selves. One of the things that came to my mind also when I think about love games, or if you flip it around, the game of love, because once you flip it, it can give a different connotation to it.
Right.
But either way, when you think of a game, usually games are a team sport, right?
Yep.
So we should,
That's right.
It's a team sport, but sometimes we're not on the same team.
Right.
And that's where a lot of comes in, is because we are trying to be one, but we are on the wrong side.
Yeah.
And that side is really when we go into a relationship with the first thought being one of self. When I'm only thinking of me and what I can get out of this relationship, what I can get out of this person, what I can get out of their resources or out of their feelings and their emotions, and that's when we get into that point, like you said, about being deceitful, because we're going in an approach in order to convince someone to do something or be present for our gain.
Right.
So it's like, who wants a teammate like that? I know I don't.
Right.
But I know we've all had them, right?
Right.
So I want to get straight to it tonight. We were going to do a Q&A question type thing. And hopefully, a few people are running late because we're on different time zones. However, I have a question that I wanted to ask. And I'm going to ask, and we're just going to get right into it and hit it hard. And you guys who are in the comment section, those who are watching, we want you to be engaged in the conversation. Thank you, Anae, because Lord knows my mind just went somewhere, but that's okay. It's back now. So for February, we went through the first week. We talked about love talk. Let's talk about love. And we did that. We talked about all the elements, or some of the elements and components that are important when we are loving one another. Then we talked about selfish versus selfless love.
That's it. Yeah.
The need to put each other first, and when there's the need for us to put ourselves first. Self-care is not selfish.
Right.
That was one of the main things we talked about in that one. And our partners should understand that when we take time for ourselves and do our self-care, we show up better for them. It's what equips better for them. Then last week we talked about intimacy and intentional healing. That was a really good conversation we had, where we talked about what intimacy really is, and the fact that it is not just related. Every time somebody hears the word intimacy, we think that it goes straight to the bedroom, and that is not the case. Intimacy begins.
Tina's on point, boy. She got them all.
And they don't be playing. And they is the greatest moderator to ever do it. We got the number one up in here. Okay. So the intimacy is not the act that takes place in the bedroom. The act that takes place in the bedroom is a result of the expression of intimacy that takes place before. And the intentional healing that comes in relationships is, again, when you are with your mate to serve them, to be there for them. We all need someone who's going to hold us down, and sometimes literally hold us.
Right.
Our worst times, until we are better. We need someone to partner with us in our healing process and not abandon us in the middle of it because it gets too hard. So we talked about being intentional about being present.
Right.
Healing comes, right? You want to add anything, bro, before I go further?
No, that's fine. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, all right. And then tonight we got love games. We are talking about the games people play when it comes to love. And, it is really fun because I'm wondering, like, if we're playing games, is it really love? That's not really love if we playing. That's false love. And as you said, deception. And before we go further, I don't want to get into it. He's right on time. I want to bring up to the platform. And again, he is also no stranger here. Y'all, we've seen him. We heard him. We've been there a million times over. He is, I call him my prophetic boss. He is the bishop, the prophet, Michael Claiborne. But tonight we're putting all his titles to the side and we just gonna call him Coach Claiborne. He is a relationship coach. He is an author. He is an entrepreneur. He's got like 9,000 jobs, you know, and he's just awesome every time he comes. So you know him, you love him. We're gonna bring him up to the platform. Come on, Coach Claiborne's in the building.
All right.
People.
What's happening with y'all? What's happening with y'all? What's happening with y'all?
What's good, sir? What's good? How are you?
I'm making it do what it do. I can't complain at all.
Okay, come on. Don't hurt nobody. Don't hurt nobody while you're doing. Okay, don't hurt nobody.
Cannot complain.
People gonna get hurt. If you make a marriage, if you make a marriage better, people gonna be hurt.
I'm making marriage better, man.
People gonna be hurt.
You're right. So Coach Claiborne, this is my guy. I can't even give no words. We've known each other for way too many years to count. Go way back in real life. This is Coach Claiborne, and I want to introduce you to my big bro, Rock Nobles. He is the dopest guy. You know, he's just like I'm super biased when it comes to my big bro. It's just what it is. It's all love. I gotta say, I feel like I'm the luckiest woman in the world because I be surrounded by the men folk, you know, that they be on business. They stand on business, all of them. I got all the good fellas on my team. So, you know, I feel good about myself.
Absolutely.
I'm well protected. And we see in the comments section, we got Vaughn, the Invisible Man, the Black Power Ranger, Eric, his blessings, all West Poppin' Vaughn. You know, you are welcome to come on up on tonight if you want to share and be in this conversation. Lend your voice. I'll drop the link to you. So, Coach, we were just talking briefly about recapping what February was about, and we were getting ready to get into this good conversation about love games, the games that people play when it comes down, to love. And so, when you hear the term love games, I just want to ask you, what is the first thing that comes to your mind when you thought about this topic?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I felt like you would get into the spiciness of how we make love work in relationships. You know, maybe the back and forth Q&A. We used to have a game years ago called Truth or Dare. Back when I was young, and that was considered really a love game. You played that game with people you were in relationship with, or wanted to be in relationship with, or had some kind of intimate situation, and so you played Truth or Dare, where you asked the person a question and they either told you the truth or they dared you to do something. And so so I was, those are the kinds of love games that were in my mind when you sent the topic. And I'm like, okay, we'll do some Q&A. We'll ask some questions about how do we see relationships? What do we see? What do we do in relationship? What would make relationships better? What would keep the spiciness in relationships? I think people are today having relationships, but there's no spiciness. And sometimes the games are what work. When you can not take each other serious all the time.
Right.
We've lost the fun in relationships. There's a couple out there, they're doing some things, and I said to a couple of people, and I said, when I get married in a relationship, this how and the way they argue, and the way they're arguing, like they both got both of their foreheads.
Oh yeah. The blacks, yeah.
Press them against each other, and it's like it's so hard. How I'm gonna argue with you, and you like right here, you know what I mean? And then one of the other ones they do is they do this whisper, like you can't rock. You can't, and I kind of teach that, but I teach it from a different angle. I always tell people if you're going to have the tough conversations, have it in a restaurant.
Yep.
Now, people still clown in the restaurant now, but back then, people were real cautious about conversations because they can't raise their voice. Now people will throw stuff, but back then it was different. So maybe I need to change it and say have it in a police station. Maybe I need to change it and say have it in the police station. Maybe I should have it at the police station because it used to be the way I used to teach it is, have those conversations.
That's right.
In a restaurant. That's what I taught because you can now hear each other. And there is no raising of the voice. Because a lot of times when we argue, we raise our voice and nobody's listening. So, I just really thought that you were going to hit us with a lot of just really, how can we do this? How can we keep the segment? How can we find love? I say a lot of times, you hear me say a lot of times in When the Right One Comes, we've got away from love.
Exactly.
Everything is transitional. Everything is transactional. Relationships is so transactional. What you can do for me, what I can do for you, what do you bring to the table, what I bring to the table. Everything is so transactional now that is so really sad. I sent out a post. They did a post on Black sitcoms, and it showed about 15 sitcoms where people were just in love with each other. And I'm just at that space, Lady Dawn. Whatever my future is going to be, I just want to know you love me. Like you really genuinely, honestly love me, and you're in love with me, and you want to be around me. Like I'm your moment, I'm your day. Rather I do nothing today. Rather I do nothing for you at this moment. But just I'm here because I love you and not because of what you do for me. I'm just tired of women that love the thing more than they love the person. So I'm excited about whatever today is going to be. I got a plethora of information in terms of relationship. So
yes, I know. I do that. I do know. And he is an author. He has some amazing books. The Huddle. I'm gonna let him throw them all at y'all later before it ends up. I'm telling you, go get the Huddle. I think every book he wrote, I'm pretty sure I have. And whatever I'm missing, I'm gonna go get it again. But
I need them books.
The Huddle is good. Yeah, you insist. Yeah, man.
I was reading it all over again, and I'm like, this is some good stuff, man.
It's so
talking about it in the room lately.
So good. But it's funny that you said about how people just don't love anymore and everything being transactional, because that was actually one of the things I was saying before you came on, is how we go into relationships now with this attitude about what can you, and it's not just now, it's been for a minute now, but what can you do for me? What am I going to get out of it? It's very one-sided. We're not going in to really engage with the person. We're going into relationships looking to engage with resources and then wondering why we're not emotionally satisfied, but this is one of the games that we play because we put ourselves up, in the courting and in the dating stage. We tend to put on this persona that I am the perfect package, where there's no flaw and no error. And when you're getting me, you're getting the top notch best of everything. And we are selling each other a very far story than the truth, and we do that in order to convince one another, because a lot of times we want people who don't want us, so then we push ourselves to try to give the appearance that we qualify, because we can talk the talk, while we talking and we courting. But when you get into that committed relationship space, eventually, sis, bro, gonna find out you can't cook. You can only sneak but so many meals in before he gets to your house and make it look pretty. Eventually, bruh, sis gonna find out that you can't fix anything. There's so many repair shops you can visit outside of the relationship until you get into where you are really face to face with each other. So we are, okay, Michelle Roach said, speak it. That is true. And we're setting ourselves up for failure all because we're going into these relationship spaces as a game. Correct. We go in as a game wanting to win the prize. A lot of men, and I'm going to say this a lot, some, not all, I'm going to say this, and it's going to be, we just going to be a little toxic tonight, a little I
didn't want to have to call you after the podcast.
No, don't do it. Don't do it. I don't want no problems with you, big bro. Ain't too many people that could check But you know, big bro, you got that. They were like, oh no, I'm not gonna get in trouble. But a lot of men, or this is the perception, this is what I've heard, and this is what I've experienced and seen. Also, so a pursuit of a woman to and I'm sorry, my reception is a little off tonight, so y'all bear with. But a lot of men go into a pursuit of a woman as a conquest, to conquer her, not to keep her.
Correct.
And that is one of the issues when it comes to love games, because a woman is thinking that all of these things that you are doing is to gain her for life, when you are just trying to win her for a time. So can y'all speak to that? Is that true? How does that work for y'all?
Well, that's true on some levels. That's true. I think sometimes it's true on both ends too, because we always looking to change. We get with people and we want to change who they are to fit what we want them to be, right? Because we put so much confidence and so much emphasis on our preferences, you know, and you can't change a person who they are. You know, you can't make me become a serious person when I like to have fun, right? That's my personality. And we get together, we want to change this person's personality. We want them to do this. No one's going to do nothing that's not in them to do. And whatever they're doing that's not in them to do is only going to last for a short period of time.
True.
Right? And the thing about it is and we look to conquer, and there's nothing to conquer. Why would you want to conquer someone? You want someone you can live with, laugh with, and everything. You know, like he was like Coach was saying earlier, and Baby says, you know this to be true. How me and your sister play around a lot. You know, we go back and forth, but it's playing like you gotta be able to have fun, you know, and it's not about taking over and controlling. When you talk about conquering, you talk about controlling someone. And when you talk about controlling someone, now you into manipulation and witchcraft and all this other stuff. You know, just let a person be who they are. Because you're going to be who you are, so let them be who they are. Right? You know, like one of the things I had to learn, what we both had to learn, and I'm telling you, people don't believe me when I tell you, but me and my wife, when they say opposite, we don't watch the same TV show, the same movies. We don't like the same restaurants. We just total opposite. But we had to learn. Like, I like to talk. My wife can sit 3 weeks and if she don't say a word, she cool. Right? But we had to learn how, okay, what we got to do is sometimes I got to learn how to be quiet and give her space. And sometimes she got to come out of her comfort zone and have conversation. But in that, we had to learn to give each one of them. We had to allow each one to be who they are. That's the point I'm getting to. You can't take who a person is away from them.
Right. Now that's good, and you make a great point about the opposites. And opposites do bring balance. You know, we have to be open. Like, are you strong enough in who you are to remain who you are and not feel threatened by someone else who is your opposite? Can you embrace and stretch your capacity enough to be open to learning something new or even respecting their side and still maintain, you know, the relationship and the love that you guys have? I'm gonna pause for a second because I see some good people came in the room. Hey, Marilyn, that is my girl, my TikTok sis. What's popping? I'm so glad you came on, beautiful. Thank you for joining. She's a first time Bravo Nation visitor. Well, she ain't a visitor no more. You in the room, so you fam now. Well, you was fam before, but you fam for real over here on this side. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate your presence. I love you so much. And we also have my good sis, Disciple Spencer is in the building on tonight. What's happening, my Fluffy Nation member? You know, it's almost safe for us to come outside. Okay, it's almost cuffing season is over. We made it through Valentine's Day safely. We are unscathed. All right. Yes, sis, you found me. Yay. I'm so glad you found me. I'm so glad you're here on tonight. So, everybody, welcome again. Let me just do a quick reset to Thursday night with me, your girl, Lady Dawn B, here on the Bravo with Sheila Network. I have the joy and pleasure of being your host tonight for this amazing conversation. For the month of February, we've been talking about love, and tonight we are talking about love games, the games people play in love, along with the game of love. It's two different things, and we want to touch on both. So for those who just came in the room, if you do me a favor, and those who are still up in the silent section, if you just hit that thumbs up button, it is free 99 to you, but it is everything to us. That is, it helps push our content out into these wonderful YouTube streets so that we can even help even more people. So we appreciate you all. Feel free to comment respectfully in the chat, because as you know, we will remove the people who are disrespectful. This is an integral space and we keep it as such. We love you, but we will put you out. I'm just saying.
Yes, we will.
That's how we getting down in 2025.
Because we put people out.
Say what?
Yeah.
And it's
we
in
Marty Marred up in here. We Marty Marred up in here.
So thank
Get
you
to
both.
stepping.
High stepper. So thank you for that response. That was really good. What the question that I was asking our panel tonight, my big bro Rock Nobles, and I don't even know what to call him. He has so many names. It's just he's this guy. He's just that guy, the Coach Claymore. This is my people since forever. What we're talking about right now is in love and in relationships. We're talking about how men come from the space of conquest, being the and I don't want to. I'm going to use this term, but I don't want you to be offensive. Being the predators that y'all are, the hunters. I'll say hunter, not predators, because that's different. Being the hunters that y'all are.
Predator is a good word.
Some do prey, but I think it's the motive behind your hunt that makes the difference, whether, what direction you're going in. But when it comes to pursuing women, oftentimes men pursue women from a place of conquest, not a place of relationship. And a woman takes those actions that you're doing in the pursuit emotionally as something that is going to be everlasting, not temporal. When you're trying to conquer something, you pursue it until you win. And then when you get it, it becomes a trophy. And you don't pursue it anymore. The trophy goes on the shelf. And then they dust it off every once in a while, but it doesn't get that everyday love and care that you were giving it when you were in pursuit of gaining it. So I was asking the men folk, how true is that? And what is that space like? Come on, Coach. Tell me your thoughts. I see you.
With age, I don't know if I ever pursue for conquering purposes. Unless you take the mindset of
to love them.
I used to say when I was younger, I can have whoever I want. Then I would hear women say, "Oh, you can't have me. Well, I don't want you."
Oh.
But if I wanted you, I absolutely can have you. And that's just the confidence in me. It was the confidence about a job. I told people I got messed up with this whole resume mindset because I was from old school. If I could sit down and interview with you, I'm going to get that job. If I sit in front of you and interview with you, I'm going to get the job. You can't determine who I am on my paper. So when I remember going through a phase where I was trying to get back into the workforce, and they was like, "You got to do a resume." I said, "What?" I didn't even know what a resume was. And then they would like go online and send it out. So I said, people are not going to see who I am. They're not going to hear my voice. I said, I don't know about this whole situation. So that's the way I was in relationships. In terms of, are there men out there that conquer for notches on that belt? At some point they were. I think the older you get, that is no longer a situation. That's a boy thing and not a man thing. Men don't spend a lot of time of trying to figure out how many notches they get on their belt. Because at some point you get to the point that it grows old. It grows tired. If you're at any certain amount of age, you've dated a significant amount of women. They all say they may be. I know Rock Noble, and this is just between me and you, Lady Dawn ain't here. We're not talking to them. I know they would like to believe that there is nobody like them. I know that they would like to believe that they are the best. And I let them say it. But in the back of us men here, we going,
Yep.
there is another you.
Okay.
Okay. And we let you we let you say it. We let, as they say today, we let you be great.
Yeah, let them be great.
We let you be great, but there is another you. You know, we said it in the room on Wednesday, and a lot of women got their feathers fluffed because we said pretty women comes down a dozen. And they do.
They do.
They do. There are pretty
They
women
do.
all over this country. There are pretty women outside of this country. So pretty women coming, you're not just the only, pretty women are not just don't reside in New York. While you are very beautiful, Lady Dawn, but pretty women don't reside in New York. There are pretty women next state over in New Jersey. There are pretty women backwards to Connecticut. They're pretty, that's just 2 states apart. You know what I mean? So there are pretty women in Philly. If you keep coming down, pretty women in Delaware, pretty women in Maryland, pretty women in Virginia, pretty women in North Carolina, in South Carolina, in Georgia, in Florida. They're everywhere. They're in the United States. They're in Jamaica. They're in Brazil. They're in Bahamas. They are in the Turks and Caicos Island. They're in London, England. They're everywhere. But so to simply say that it is not so, they're pretty women everywhere. But on the same token, men who go out of their way to conquer women are usually not in the mature space, and I think Rock would agree with me. Yeah, you're younger, you did a lot of that, you know. And I don't even know if that was a big benefit for me to conquer you. I'm definitely not intrigued by that now. I care less. Like, I'm not going out of my way. I like the word pursue, but I'm not chasing you. I'm not chasing you. I'm not hunting you down. You know, Lady Dawn, you know I got to say it one time before I get off this screen.
Come on.
Fine as I am.
It wouldn't be you if you didn't say it.
I gotta say it at least one time.
Come on.
At least what Rock I said on the show every time I come over here. I be great for myself. I don't even know.
I gotta use that word.
Fine
As fine as I am.
Why am I ain't chasing nobody.
I've never chased nobody either.
I said this the other day, and the women in our room got upset. But men today, good men today, is a hot commodity. We are a rare germ, a rare gem. We are. Good men are a rare gem because there are so, she know I'm gonna say it. There are so many women out here today that good black men are the real gems. They're the real gems, and we are a hot commodity. So the truth of the matter is, we don't have to do much. We don't have to go do a lot of chasing. For what? Just sit around. They will come to you. So I don't know. Are there men who do things to conquer to get a notch on their belt? Sure, absolutely, but not much.
The germs. And he did say germs at first.
Whatever, Ace. We are gems, and that rare gems. We are not germs.
But he did fix it.
I fixed it. The rare gem. But so I just think that we both Rock and I agree. It's just not it's a boy's thing. It's not a man's thing.
I like to call them boys trapped in men's bodies.
Yeah, because they may be at the age, but they still immature.
Because essentially what it is they have not matured in that facet of their life. And that facet of their life, they're still like little boys. They didn't mature, and they didn't, you know, because people today, they want to, they don't want to be accountable for nothing.
Sure.
You know, they just want to go out here and do whatever, and whatever takes place, you know. So we gotta grow up. We gotta grow up.
No, that's true.
And we gotta stop wanting to be treated like kings and not willing to treat like queens, and stop wanting to be treated like queens, but you don't want to treat like a queen. You can't get it one way. It goes both ways. And, you know, some people want to be treated like queen, but then they treat them any kind of way, and they want to be treated like a king, and then they treat the woman any kind of way, and it doesn't work that way. Not in any royalty that I've looked at and read and researched. You know, so we just gotta grow up.
And that's true, you know, but this is, you know, why it's good that we talk about these things. And I hope you guys are enjoying this conversation so far. We're just getting started. But these are some of the things that come up in people when they're playing love games instead of playing the game of love, which is different. The game of love is a team sport. The game of love requires that reciprocation that my big brother is talking about. It's that I know I'm a queen, but I see you as a king. And so I, as a queen, I'm not going to treat you like the court jester. I'm going to treat you like the king that I see you to be. Mm-hmm. Even if you're not fully there yet, I'm going to still speak to you like you are to pull him out, and vice versa. I expect you to see you. If you're the queen, if you're the king, I expect you to be able to see the queen in me. And maybe the queen that I am is not fully developed. I might be still a little unpolished, got some rough edges, but as the king, I would expect you to speak that life into me. And so when we're talking about reciprocation and we cover one another, and that's the game of love. That's what makes us a team. That's what makes it a team sport. We're playing the same game on the same side at the same time for the same cause. We are not love games where it is a conquering conquest type of situation that we encounter. I want to read some comments, and I want y'all to know we're laughing because it is all love. This is all family, y'all. Ace Perspective is in the house. She is one of the squad, Thursday Night Squad members from the ladies' room. We are usually up here on the panel going at it with each other. And we all are like, it's real love at all times. So don't pay us no mind, but pay us some mind. So it's all good. But I want to greet some people before we move further. My mom, Rosa, Pastor Rosa.
Mama? Hey, Mama.
That is Mama. She says, I think the person who wants to be a conqueror is really a person afraid of commitment, and they are really testing the waters to see who will fall prey to the net that they throw out. Watch your voice, Miss Ma'am. Okay,
that's right. That's good. That's good.
We still recovering from your comment last week. You special.
Right. You on the list. You just not that special.
Just not that special. Now she's talking about people falling prey to the net that they throw out. No, that's good, Mom. And I definitely can understand that perspective as well. Sometimes people are afraid when you are just out to conquer someone or something, is really just to build your confidence. Right. It is by no means about the person, the people, or the things that are involved. Your thoughts are not concerned about their emotions or, you know, their feelings or, you know, anything that they get out of it. It is all about it being like a playground for you in order to build up.
Yes.
You know, it's self-censored, you know, and we shouldn't have to conquer each other. I've been told, it's the audacity for me when I share this comment. I've been told, "Oh, you just haven't had a man who knows how to handle you. You just haven't been handled." I said, "I'm sorry." I was like, "Excuse me, I've been what? I don't need to be handled."
Right.
I'm like, first of all, and truth be told, the person who said it ain't around. So you know, it's like, so you obviously you wasn't that man either. You know, so you talked a good game, but you couldn't handle. Since you want to talk about handling, but you know, it's those type of things and those type of statements and those type of mentalities give red flags to me as a woman that you have a conquest mindset, because you want to be the one to say, you know, like in the, what is that? When the Matador, you want to be the Matador that took the bull down, you know, you want to be the one that slayed the giant. It's not that you are concerned about the giant. You're concerned about the win.
Right.
So that automatically tells me where your motives are. That automatically tells me that your heart is not involved. It's your mind. It automatically tells me that, you are more concerned about the win than about the building. Like that's not what you're in it for. So when you get the win, you're done, because that's your goal. So, right. We have to be very careful on both sides because women can be like that too. Women, we can act away. We can play up to a man. We can, come with our big words, our sweet words of affirmation and all these things to build him up, knowing that internally we are not interested in them. We have no intention of staying, but we're doing it because we want something out of them, And that's another conqueror, conquest type mentality. We're talking about love games, but we are causing people to believe that we are really intentional about them. When truthfully, our hearts are far from them. We're not. It's not about you, it's about me. So thank you for that, Mom. Let's see. Ace Perspective says, good evening, everyone. Good evening, my Kim.
Good evening.
Sorry you couldn't join us up on the panel tonight, but thank you for holding it down in the comment section. She's evening the playing ground because, it's supposed to be 2 against 2 or 4 against 4, but it's all right. I'm holding it down for the ladies on tonight. Hold it down. Believers International, my fam. Linwood and Deshawn is saying, good evening, y'all. Nietzsche was saying Texas when Coach Claiborne was spitting out where all the beautiful women are from, that there's pretty women everywhere. We could get you a dime a dozen, and that's okay. I just
I left that state out purposely.
You're right. He is doing the most. He is doing the most. Right? That's okay. Beautiful women may come a dime a dozen, but I will just say that might be true, but don't none shine like me. So, I'm all right with that.
Right. That's why we let you be great. You ain't
gonna let me be great. I'm great. I'm already great. You can't let me be something already. Yeah.
He's already great.
True.
I am.
I'm already great.
I'm already here. Number 4, my daddy made me that way. Listen, when nothing else works, you got to throw God. God made me that way. You can't argue with that. See what I'm saying?
I got no argument.
There you go. Hey, Tamika, how are you, sis? Thank you for joining us on tonight. So good to see you in the building. Anitra says, love y'all. She's sending us some love. Mama is laughing at us per usual. Let's see. Here we go. Mama's laughing at Mama Rosa with the gems and wisdom as always. Mom be dropping them. I can't. I gotta put her out here to y'all in doses because if I brought her up here every week, it would be too weighted. Your minds would just explode. But we love her. We love her for her wisdom. Marilyn Jackson says, preach, lady, sis. I'm trying to hold it down for us women. I'm trying to, I'm holding it down on our side. I'm just saying, we going to represent, I ain't scared. And Ace Anisha says, I'm here for it. So, all right, we caught up on our comments now. So that's right. See, now look at this. See what I'm saying? See what my mother now argue with my mom. Argue with my mom.
Great.
I'm not.
No, I don't argue with mom.
Right. See what I'm saying?
That's automatic victory. You got it, mom.
Right. Be great. I will be good.
Because I want to be on the list and be special. So I ain't
You want
I ain't trying to be on the list, but I ain't that special. No.
Ordinary to be in the
I need to be, yeah.
And Bravo with Sheila says, blessings. Good to see you. I hope I'm okay. Pache, if it's you, I'll need you to put Coach Pache because I get confused with y'all. But if not, hey, Auntie Bravo, it's good to see you. It is the Queen Bee of the Bravo with Sheila. Popping in to say good evening. So, as we have discussed this point of conquest when it comes to men, to the women, I want to ask our men another question. This is still working out really well. I was hoping the ladies would be on so we could have a little friendly combat with the love games, but it's all right. I want to ask this question to you both, and we're going to get to the nitty gritty of it, because this is another perception that has been put out there that we as women have been caused to believe, I want to say, is that sex is the most important thing to a man. That's the first thing that's on a man's mind. So, question when it comes to love games, because a lot of women believe that all a man wants to do when he approaches, and I've had this mentality myself, is that you really are not trying to get to know me. You just want to know me intimately. I just put it that way. So I have two signature questions that I ask, usually in approach when I feel, someone is not on the up and up, and they usually straight off the back. I'm like, what do you want? And who sent you? Straightway. What you want? Just straight, no chaser. Let's not do all of this. Try to, you pretty, all emotional stuff. Yeah, I'm just that. I'm that one. I know, Shake. I get it. But because my thing is, be honest. We're not gonna play the emotional games if that's not what you're trying to do. Like, don't try to suit me up just to lay me down. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. So, I want to ask y'all, how important is sex to men? Is that the number one thing that you look for when it comes to relationship with this game of love?
Sex will be the most important thing to a boy that's trapped in a man's body. I don't want to sound boring, so I'm not going to talk long because I know nobody probably going to believe me. But ever since I've been in the dating game, the most important thing with me is their mind. Their mind, how they process, how they think, their thought process. That's always been the most important to me, because you can have sex and none of that comes. But if you connected mentally and you connected emotionally, all the other stuff will fall right into play. And it's never been about, because it's because if sex was the number one thing, then the whole relationship is based on sex. So what happens when everybody starts getting older and so forth, and things change, movements and all that. You can't. So that means people leaving. So it can't be about that. It gotta be about the mental capacity. Do you have the mental capacity to be in a relationship? Do you have the emotional capacity to be in a relationship? Because even when you got illnesses that come, you got sicknesses that come, you got separation. I don't mean like legal separation, but you got arguments that may cause a period of time where people are not getting together. So if sex is the most important, when those things take place, they're exiting, they're leaving.
Right.
It got to be about the mind. It got to be how they process things in their mind, and how they handle situations and circumstances. Because you want somebody to work with you in life, right? So I'm gonna let the coach. He got more experience. He's a little older than me, so I'm gonna let him chime in. And, he ready too, boy.
But ladies, you've heard it. That's one. That's one. I'm saying no. So keep note, ladies, okay? Because some of us are still out here with the mindset that that's the number one thing that's on a man's mind. And Big Bro is saying that, that's not it. A man is looking for a woman with a mind, because when you get to the point where you can't swing from the chandelier like you used to, we got to be able to have something else to hold on to keep on.
And one more thing, baby sis, one more thing.
Yes, sir.
If and from your experience, sex is the most important thing on their mind, maybe it's the pool of men that you're looking at. Maybe you need to change the pool of men you're looking at.
Oh, he said, get up from the table and go to it. Matter of fact, he said, leave the room and go to another room. Matter of fact, go to another building. Get out of that park. Get out of that park, lady.
Why are you attracted? Why is sex only men attracted to you? Why are you attracting those men? I'm gonna leave it right there. I'm gonna let Coach chime in.
True.
I'm gonna lay back in my chair. I'm gonna let Coach chime in.
All right, all right. Coach Anitra said yes. The bishop is old. That's what I can't. Y'all say all the time. I wish she was up here tonight. She also says, "I love that there has to be a balance. There definitely does. I mean, everything in its proper place and in its correct measure. And it's not that it can't be important, but we seem to feel as women sometimes that it's the number one thing that comes onto him. Oh, girl, he just wants this because he's just being nice because he wants to know what my bedroom looks like." And Marilyn Jackson,
baby sis, because it's not always on the person. Okay, if I'm attracting a certain kind of woman, then there's something going on with me too. Why a woman of a certain caliber is only attracted to me? What it is about me that's making them attractive? So you gotta do self-examination. What the thing about it is, nobody wants to do a self-examination. It's the men, it's the women. The men blame the women, and women blame the men. Nobody's doing a self-examination.
That's true.
Coach ain't jumping in, so he must want me to finish. That's why I'm keep jumping in.
No, he didn't do it. He didn't jump in. He didn't jump in because I was reading the comments. I wanted to get the comments in between because once Coach comes in to lay it down, then we're gonna have a whole other set of comments. So I have to read it through. So let me read to these next two and then that Coach. But the men's lounge is gonna be a mess. I'm looking forward to it. Let's see. Marilyn Jackson, my sis, I love her so much, says you have to be able to stimulate me mentally. Say
yes.
What?
That's
Listen,
what I'm talking about. Yes.
My mind first. Okay, yes. The rest of me will follow. But if you stimulate my mind, what is that? Sapiosexual who's attracted to intelligence, like do that. And that's the thing with women. A lot of us, I'm gonna wait. It's not my turn. I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me read the comments because I was getting ready to go somewhere. Roderick says, "Yeah, I was going. I don't want to tell much of my business because I ain't doing that." Roderick says, "And welcome again. This is the first time here. I'm so glad to see him. I've known him for like 20 years. That's my guy, y'all. It's my guy." He says, mind, body, and spirit. Right. It has to be the trifecta. It has to be all three. So, ladies, hear what the men are saying because we have to change our way of thinking because it affects how we receive the approach of men. And I'm being honest as a woman. When my mind is set on that all men or most men only want, to find out what my bedroom looks like, I don't take anything of what you're saying for truth. I don't take it with heart. I take it at surface level because it's like then we're just waiting to see, okay, how long is he willing to wine and dine until he gets what he wants, So that's important that we are hearing from the men what this truth is. Michelle Roche says, "Speak it, Lady Dawn." I will after Coach. I will because I was getting ready to go somewhere. So come on, Coach, because I know you're ready. I see the hands is come
when
on,
we go
sir.
like this. Yeah, we ready. Yeah, we ready to let loose. Yeah.
Oh, I know y'all for sure.
So do you want my politically correct answer?
He coming.
It's not 8:30. It ain't 8:30.
Wait, what time is it? What time? We ain't turned it on at 8:30, but I started it off early, so you know what? Just get in gear. Just go for it.
Yeah.
The train's already moving, so go ahead. Come on.
Your question was, is it on their mind? That was your question was.
The question was
on their mind.
Is it the
sex the number one thing that men?
Is the most important, right? Is the number one thing on
most important?
You said on their mind. Being on my mind and acting on is two different things. So I'm not going to sit here and this question, this issue, like you made the statement about, I want you to be into me. That only happens when you're not him. When you are him, it's on her mind. When you are him. When you are him and you catch her in the elevator and you smelling some kind of absolutely amazing If you happen to be whatever her preference is, beautiful dark chocolate with pretty white teeth, and you smell absolutely amazing.
Are you talking about
you?
Are you talking about you?
She will show you the inside of her bedroom well sooner than later. You ain't even got to ask. She'd be glad to show it to you.
Because as fine as you are, right?
When you fine, I'm just saying, when you fine. It only becomes an issue when you average.
Oh.
When you, as we say in our room, when you medium ugly, as Josh and them say, then it becomes an issue. But it's not an issue when you are him. Now, I know people don't want to hear that, but I am telling you the reality of it. When you are him, I don't have to move your brain at all. I don't have to move your mind whatsoever. When you go, take your breath away. I ran across the beach and I got not 6 but 8 packs. And you try to figure out how he got 8 packs when he run across that beach and he looked like a Greek god. Yo, see, I hate that people keep making sex about a man.
Yes.
Do you know how many women want to have sex?
And all the time.
8:30 yet. I was statistically. Do you want to know? Sex is not in 21st century. Sex is not a man thing anymore. It really not. It really not. They did a list about what was priorities: personality, money, sex. And I think 2 other: personality, money, sex, leadership, and something else. And to see how the numbers, sex wasn't last. By no means was it last on a lot of people's response. Some of it was first, some of them it was second, some of it was third. They ain't ready for the retreat. But so understand that I get what you're saying about I want him to see me for more than that.
All right, Tamika, love you.
Absolutely. You want him to see you for more than that. So yes, do you want more over here? But here is the thing, and there was a post about it today. A young lady was talking about sometimes that's all I want. There are women who simply says, I don't want, unfortunately, a relationship. I just want you to come and do and go home. Like, there are women who simply say, I just want you to come and
don't talk to me. Don't
and
talk.
then go back home.
And so there is, so it's not a one-sided situation, but here is the thing that makes sex sketchy is when you don't know what you hear. And the reason why a man doesn't tell you that directly is because for most women like yourself, Lady Dawn, who's classy, he know he cannot lead with that. Mm-hmm. Because that would absolutely
that's good. That's good right there. That's good.
Kill that from the door.
Right.
Men are, we are, again, if you put us in the term of hunters, you never see the lion just jump out. He is strategic.
Yep.
He is watching the prey. He is taking his time. Most hunters who go after their prey don't just go for it. They watching it. They analyze it. They knowing when to go. And so men who understands that a woman is classy will absolutely not start with it. He will finesse. He will date you. He will do all of that. While in the back of his mind, you know who you want to sleep with. But here's the thing. Women know who they're going to give it to. They want. They know it's not about you tracking their mind. Because you can be as intelligent as you want, but if you are medium ugly, She will be like, yeah, you got my mind going, but I ain't about to give you nothing. Oh, no.
I don't know.
No. Women know, because women are the gatekeepers of it. Women are the gatekeepers of it.
We are. That's
if they don't want to give it to you, you're not getting it.
And that's true.
I don't care what you say. I don't care how much money you spend. I don't care what you do. Women are the gatekeepers of sex. If they do not want to give it to you, you're not getting it. So the reverse of it, if she gives it to you, you cannot blame me for being me. You can't say, but he finessed me out of it. Or he talked me out of it. No, I'm just being me. You didn't want it. No one can talk you.
What I mean, can y'all hear me when I'm in here?
No one can push you to get what you want or to do what you don't want to do. Not mature women. Not mature women. I don't care. A guy, you love singing. I can think of some major singers, but they can't sing Dawn out of nothing if she don't want to give it to them. She might be moved by their singing, like, oh my God, he can sing. But if Lady Dawn is not impressed or don't want to, she just don't want to. And sometimes it may not be because he's not worthy of it. I just don't want to today. I just don't want to right now. And you understand? And so women control that, bottom line. And so while it is on a man's mind, I mean, statistically, I know we all would like to be politically correct like my boy Rock. I know we would love to be able to say that. But science says.
Correct.
Science says it is on men's minds every day, all day long. The science. Science says it is it. I want to say what Rock say. I really do, because I think it's the politically correct answer, and I want them to like me, Rock, because that's the I'm into her mind. I'm into all that. But Lady Dawn, when I see you singing up there, I don't know what your mind is. I just know that they tell me blondes have more fun. I just know that she is beautiful. I just know that I want her. You have to slow me down to want to get to know you. But my first initial reaction when I see you is not, I want your mind. I know men want to say that, but I'm not, me, I'm gonna tell you the truth. That's not true. That your first initial that you see a woman at the beach, you see a woman at the mall, your first initial is not, man, I want to get to know her mind. I want to get to know her personality and heart. That's not what you say. Not for men, because we are visual. Men say, my God, I need to get to know her. She is fine. She is bad. She is all of that. And so they have scientifically proven that the scientists say men think about sex all day, every day. They think about it. They think about it. We don't, but it's a thought that come across. We wake up sometimes with that thought. That's because of genetics, just because of the way we make. And so, yeah, it's on our minds. But I will agree with Rock on the mere fact is that if I'm going to have something long term, I want to know who you are. It can't end with just sex. I need to know who you are if I'm going to have something long term. Now, if I'm here for a short time and not a long time, then we need to have that discussion. We need to simply, I feel like Bishop right there. That's what he would say. If I'm here
for a good time, not a long time.
I'm here for a short time. But if we're here for that, then we need to both be honest. We need to tell each other, listen, I'm here to play and not to pay. I'm here to play and not to pay. And when we get that understanding, I think people don't have a problem if they both can agree and come to that understanding. Okay, this is not a commitment. You're not here for long term. You're just here for the fun of it. I think that there are more women that would sign up for that. They would not majority, maybe not even half. But if you would be honest and say, look, I'm just here for fun, there's some women that would say, okay.
They'd be like, no, I don't want a relationship. Just go home.
And they would say, okay, cool.
They're doing it more and more.
And that's true. I have to.
And they don't mind. And they don't mind if you're married. Oh, it's like you're married. Oh, okay, you're married. Oh, that's even better.
I mean, there are some. Now, I want to say, By all means, we are not promoting that type of tomfoolery. I just wanted to be clear. We talking real talk here. You know how we do. We talk real talk with real resolutions. We talk about the stuff that nobody else want to talk about. And that's real deal situation. There are some that will like a situationship with a married person over someone who's single and free, because the commitment level is different. It doesn't exist. It's a I see you when I see you, and that's it. Where someone who is single, who wants your time, who really wants to pursue you, wants your time. And sometimes we don't want to invest in that. And that is true. It is not all one-sided. Thank you for that, Coach, because it is very true. It's not just men. So women, we have to keep in mind while we're in these love games, because this is not a attack on men. But these are some of the things that come up in conversation of the mentality that we have been taught, and I want to say forced to believe, down through the years. And that causes us to deal with men differently. It causes us to sometimes give you that cold shoulder before you can even get the whole word hello out of your mouth, because we can already tell. You may think that we are beautiful and you are attracted to us and you are coming to speak to us and to approach us, and all of that happy smiling that y'all are feeling, that you just wanting to come and be respectful. In our minds, as you are two-stepping on your way over to us, we have already calculated in our head, bro, don't want nothing but to smile up in my face and then see what the inside of my bedroom looks like, when that may not be the truth, as you gentlemen are expressing.
I was going to ask you, why is that the thought pattern? Is it because of past experience with other men? So then you take on the mindset that all men are that way? Or is it past experience of just even hearing your girlfriends or everyone else that is there? Sometimes we hear other people's story. And like I always say, I'm not just talking for me. I'm also talking about the stories that I've heard from others. So I'm just trying to figure out, why do you, because here's the thing. If you think that way, Rock said earlier, you will attract that. One thing, but two, then you keep back the opportunity for authentic relationship. If you think the only reason I came over there is to sleep with you, and if that's the only, if you think that, then you're not even giving me the opportunity to really come in the door and want something more, because you already build up. That's what I wanted to say.
Because your preconditioned thoughts,
a wall, and you already build up this force field that, hey, I'm not letting Real Dawn out because I know you don't want Real Dawn, and so therefore I never get to say it. So I'm just trying to. I'm curious, and I know.
I got you. I'm gonna answer that. I just want to read this comment and then I'm gonna answer it. Pastor Rose, Mama says, like the results of a statistical survey, when it comes to the issues of sex, you have to look at the sample being used to take the survey. The results do not represent the majority, just the sample. So she says sometimes, it's based on it's not inclusive of all. It's just an opinion or the statistics of those who were questioned, and we haven't questioned all, but we got to start somewhere. Now, to answer your question, because this is hold on, Mr. Grateful's in the room.
Oh man,
that's popping, Mr. Grateful. You should be up here, bro. You should be up here.
I should walk into
for you, because you walked in on the right time. That's what you did. Welcome to the room, everybody. Hit that thumbs up button. It's Thursday night with me, your girl, Lady Dawn B, here on the Bravo Sheila Network. We are wrapping up the month of love with Love Talk, and tonight we talk about love games. Are we playing love games, or are we really playing the game of love? There's a difference. The game of love is a team sport, but when we play them love games, it is a single man's game, because you're playing for yourself. Now, Coach, to answer your question, why do women have that mentality? There's more than one reason, but I would say primarily from my experience, and for those who have been in my circle. Okay, well, no, I'm not even gonna go that far. I'm gonna say this. A lot of it is, and I've said this more than once, and I've said it in different spaces. A lot of it is that we are taught by wounded women. We are taught by women who have not healed from their own wounds. So automatically, and they believe that they are doing us a service by putting us onto these different situations that may happen, different types of approaches that we may encounter, and raising us up to helping us be wise to the streets, so that you are alert, so that you don't end up giving yourself to the wrong man, on the wrong night at the wrong time with the wrong group. And truth be told, no matter what, I don't know any woman who has not given herself to the wrong man unaware. We have all been in a situation where we've given ourselves to someone who did not deserve us or deceived us down the line, period. Now, when you are taught that mentality to begin with, you are automatically sent out to the world with a defense. That wall that you're talking about is ingrained, is built. We have never even had the chance to be open.
Preconceived thoughts.
To remain open. Mm-hmm. Because we are carrying the weight of our predecessors' experiences, which I don't have a problem being taught. My mother has shared things with me about her life that took place to make me a wiser woman, so that I'm aware of what things look like. But I did not take it to heart that is all that I'm going to experience when I get out in the world. I don't necessarily, because I'm reformed. Remember, Coach, I'm reformed. I do not keep the wall up in every situation. I've learned those, not even the red flags, and this is the thing. Sometimes you got to catch it when it's a pink flag before it gets to a red flag. You got to cut it off when you recognize the signs and when you see certain behaviors. But that is in some men, not all. On our side, we have to take accountability for the people that we are entertaining. Because sometimes we are super attracted to the bad boy, so to speak, knowing that there's no loyalty there, knowing that there is no longevity there, knowing that you are going to be the good time, not the long time. But we're thinking that, but when he meets me, like you said, there's pretty women in all states, all over the place, but thinking that we can change them. So a lot of us, again, and in short, is that we are wearing the wounds. We're operating out of the wounds of those who taught us instead of, and it creates a defensive wall so that we don't let people in. I told you my two questions always, but what do you want and who sent you? And when you're talking about even before, and I developed those two questions after my own experiences, not after what my mother taught me of her life, because she's a different person. She might have been, my mother's, she's been walking with Jesus, I feel like, since she was born. That may not be the case. Me, I walked with him and then I fell off and then I came back, so we've had different experiences. But I can't wear her history. I have to create my own. And I have to be accountable for myself. So learning to choose better and learning what my limits are and how far I will or will not go with a person, causes me not to put that wall up with everybody all the time. So women, we have to be mindful of, because like you said, we could be cutting off some really amazing people, really amazing men before we even give them a chance to even get in the mix. So I hope that helped answer your question. I'm not speaking for all women, but there are some of us out here that have experienced that. So ladies, we have heard from the men folk that while sex is on their mind, it is not the number one thing in the approach. So we should not be so guarded all the time. We got to learn how to take these walls down so we can start finding some love instead of playing games. So that was my share on that. Do y'all have a question for the ladies? Tell me from your experience. Let me ask you this. Would you prefer a woman to approach you, or do you prefer? Well, Rock, I don't know if you can really answer this one because you married. Do you do you rather a woman approach you?
I ain't been married. I ain't been married for 58 years.
I know that. I'm just saying. I don't want you to get in no trouble. I want you to have a peaceful night. No, I'm kidding.
Get in trouble. Come on now.
I know. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. Do you prefer a woman to approach you, or do you prefer to approach a woman? Because being the pursuers that y'all are, the hunters, do you find it offensive if a woman approaches you?
No. Because me and my wife was almost a mutual. Me and my wife was almost like a mutual approach.
Okay.
It was nearly almost mutual. You know, it was like, like in the beginning, like when you catch the eye, and or every time you look up, you're looking at each other and stuff like that. And it was actually, she actually made, it wasn't no words, but she actually made the move. I pretty much reacted to the move by after, during the conversation, to ask the question, can I see you again, or can we, can we talk or whatever. But she actually made the initial move. Me personally, I know some people, they get caught up in it. Me personally, I don't see a problem with it.
Okay.
I don't see a problem. Some people like, oh, she too aggressive. Stop being so weak.
Oh, okay. What say you, Coach?
No, I mean, not at all. I mean, whoever approached first is not a big thing. I think in today's society, we deal with this all the time about jumping into the DM. I mean, you're gonna mess around and miss an opportunity because it's like, oh God, I'm gonna wait for a man. Again,
right.
We're talking about rare gems. We're talking about
right.
Other people want him. So if other people want him, why are you going to miss the opportunity to get him, hoping that he's going to see you? How? Lady Dawn, but the moment I pick up my phone and go to any social media, first be it Facebook, TikTok, or Instagram, before I even see it in DM, do you know how many women I see hit the timeline? Church women to Instagram women, young women, old women. Do you know how many women hit the timeline? So how is it that you think I'm going to miss all of these people and see you? And you ain't saying nothing. You're not in the DM. How is by osmosis? I'm just going to teleport to you. When I go through that time, I'm gonna see nobody but you. Again, you're not the only one. You're not the only one. So if you did something, it's like in a club. I mean, that was my BC days, but it's like in a club, man. The club always had more women. It's like in the church. It's always more women than there is men. What makes you stand out? What makes me see you? Well, you can't say because you're light skinned. You're not the only light skinned woman in church or at the club. So I'm dark skinned. Well, you're not the only dark skinned one. So I'm tall. I'm short. You're not the only one. So what makes you stand out? What makes you stand out? Even though we have rare gems, what makes me stand out? There are other men who are brown skinned. There are other men who are taller. There are men right now. I mean, Lady Dawn, I obviously got to do stuff because their biggest thing is you got to be 6 feet. You got to be 6 feet. So what makes them see me?
Preferences, right. Well,
they see me because I'm fine.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say what your that's fine.
You know what, baby sis? Let me say this. This real quick.
So I'm just trying to figure out, like, we don't care. Like Rock said, I said, whoever approaches you approaches. I mean, I'm not offended. I do hear Yeah, I mean, totally agree
Yes,
with Mr.
Mr.
Grateful,
Grateful,
because
yes.
we live in the
Mr.
Me Too
Grateful
society. I
Yes.
said this on,
can be
what was it,
dangerous.
Wednesday? I said it on Wednesday. We live in the Me Too society. We live in the I just said this yesterday in our room. She can run to HR, because if
Yep.
I'm at the job, you know, and every time I see her in the elevator, I'm like trying to hit. I'm trying to, you know, I'm shooting my shot. I'm trying to get her attention. You know what I mean? So she can run to HR and be like, "Oh, this is harassment."
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Even though, and I said this yesterday, Lady Dawn, women may say you want a man approach, but then your same women turn around and get offended when men approach.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean?
And
You
that's
only
true.
like certain men approach. So don't say you want men to approach, because if that's the case, if you go over to Instagram, they got another section over in Instagram that we call the graveyard. There, I promise you that there is a whole bunch of people. If you go over there, it's called requests. You got your primary, you got your general, then you got a third section called requests. I guarantee you that there are a lot of men in the requests that are shooting their shots, and you not responding to them. So we don't really care. I think it's either way. I don't really care if she speaks first, I speak first. It don't really matter. I'm not offended by a woman saying, "You doing? Or you're nice looking, or you're into you." And like Rock said, then that opens a door for me to respond. I'm not saying that you got to have the full constant. I'm not want you to pursue me. However, if you initiate it by saying,
You don't want us to make you feel pretty with your fine self. You don't want us to.
no, you know, I mean, I already know that. So you don't have to pursue, but
Just say.
if you're trying to get my attention, you're gonna have to do more than like my pictures.
Right.
You better get in the DM and say, "How you doing?"
Right.
Liking my picture is not going to get my attention. It just doesn't.
True.
It just not for me.
And you know something, sis? I gotta rephrase
right.
what I gotta change what I said, because it wasn't a mutual approach. My wife actually was the person. And I'm gonna tell you, now that I sit here and remember, when I first left New York, I moved to DC. Right? So it was on a Friday. So Sunday morning, I was walking around the neighborhood looking for a store, so I can get some, buy some grits, eggs, toast. I wanted some breakfast. And on the way back through, I heard music playing. I'm like, where that music coming from? That sounds good. It was the church. Now, remember, I told you my wife is laid back. My wife, she don't meet and greet. When they say meet, she don't do none of that, right? But by the second or third Sunday I was there, I used to always sit in the back, because you don't want, I'm in the back on the back bench. By the second or third Sunday, the next thing I knew was she had walked all the way up from the choir stand, all the way to the back of the church, gave me a hug, and walked straight back to the choir stand without hugging anybody else. So she actually made the first move, and all I did was respond to it. So I gotta actually say she was the one that made the move. It wasn't verbal, but it was still the move.
Well, she did, as Mr. Grateful said, that she let you know that it was that it was safe to engage.
Correct.
Now, I will say this, as a woman, and we're gonna have to do this again too, because I need the women up here, because there's some women question. Like I needed the combativeness amongst the peoples. Now, I will say this, as a woman, when it comes to approaching men, and especially men who are more popular, so to speak, because there's always somebody in your group, I don't care how many of y'all, that every woman flocks to. Me, I would not approach you. I could very well be interested in you, but I would not approach you. Why? Because number one, I already can see and tell, I've been around enough men to know, after a while, it's aggravating to you, because you get tired of women on some level, like approaching all the time, while it feels good. But I don't want to be labeled as part of the common factor. I don't want to be in that group. So I'm not going to run up, I'm not going to do the groupie thing and be oodles and noodles all over you. You know, now we all know, even though, and we are in ministry and in church and we're up front and the things that we do, and we all get a lot of attention. You get people approaching you all the time. When that happens, it can also create a moment you don't know who's disingenuous and who's genuine. And you don't have time to always filter through everybody and every woman and every female, because there's 96 of them and there's one of you. I'm not going to be number 97. So for me, go back. And what did work for me, was the fact that I wasn't the one who was running up in your face because you were beautiful, or you preached a great sermon, or you played them drums, or you was also on that organ, or you sang that song, because every woman wants to run up in your face and tell you. By the time you get to the 10th comment about how great from the conversation, how many times can you possibly hear it? And speaking from both sides. But as a woman, I would fall back. When in my clubbing days, me and a friend of mine, we go out, she all over the place. Me, I'll get my drink, I'll go sit, chill at the bar, I'm at the table. I find sometimes some of the most remote spaces. And she would always be like, how is it somebody's always coming to talk to you? Now, I'd have bounced around this whole club and talked to everybody and could walk out with no number. And here you got at least 2. And I was like, I'm over here minding my business to this day. Now, big bro, I always say, I'm minding my business. I don't bother nobody. I'm minding my business. I don't look for anybody. I'm over here minding my business.
That's why I protect you the way I do, because I know you ain't bothering nobody.
Thank you, big bro. So y'all need to know I'm well protected, because bro don't play when it comes to me, and I don't play when it comes to him. But you have to set yourself apart sometimes from the crowd. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be in the mix. How many of those women, if a group of 6 women come up to you and approach you, how many do you really remember? Do you remember all their names? Do you remember what they said to you? Right, because you're just another face in the crowd. But that one person that's over there that's not running up to you, that's not in your face, you'd be like, that's odd, So that, on one hand, is kind of something that can set you apart from other people. And I also don't want you to feel like I'm gonna be that easy, because I see you have 10 other women that are talking to you. So if you want to see what the inside of their bedrooms look like, you pretty could by midnight, but not me, because I'm not approaching you that way. I'm not approaching you at all. So I think we got to be really careful about how we approach as women, when we approach. And like you said, what are you doing to set you apart? Now, once that attention has been gotten in that way, then I might be in your DM saying something, because now you know who I am. And you'd be like, that's the quiet one. That's the one that, because do you really want those women that are running up to you, that are loud, going out of their way, wearing the shortest, tightest, or whatever? I'm just saying, is that really the type of women that you want?
Is that rhetorical or is that a question?
It could be both. But these are the type of games that we play, when it comes to trying to find a relationship. Like, how serious are you going to take a woman that's approaching you with 12 other women? Because then we get into a competition for your attention. I'm not really trying to do that. What are your thoughts, gentlemen?
Again, everybody competes. What do you mean you're not trying to compete?
I'm not trying to, no.
But everybody competes. Everybody competes.
On some level.
We all compete. If you think, as fine as I am, do you think that I don't think that there are other men out there that want the same woman? Everybody competes. There are women out there that want the same man you want. To say that you don't want to be in competition is crazy. Everybody competes. But it's not for us all. May the best woman win. May the best man win. Because you compete even if you don't know you are.
Okay, right. Say that, because you can't compete where you don't compare. Okay.
No, but you compete. Because it is delusional to think that this man is only going to see you. I just told you when I
didn't say that. Of course, you see other people. Of course, but that competition is in his mind. That's for him. I'm not competing with the woman standing next to me. I'm not making her. Hold on a second. We got a comment here. Not competing is a competitive edge, right? I'm not. I'm just, and this is just me. This is Dawn. Okay, this is Dawn. I say I'm not doing that because I'm not saying, okay, you made the good point. You may be competing and you're not aware. I'm not signing up like this is, the Olympics to get to your love. I'm not doing that. I'm sorry. Not sorry. Dawn at this big age is not doing that. I'm going to show up. I'm not, because when you compete, you are worried about your opponent. Baby girl, be all of you that you gonna be. Like you said earlier, a woman will give it up for whoever she wants to get, because if not, because you're not him. But when you're him, you don't have to worry about it because you're him, right? For me, I'm saying I'm not engaging in those situations because I'm not thinking about her. I'm not saying that you don't see her. I'm not saying that you don't. You're not aware of her. I'm just saying I'm not going to compete.
But see,
openly.
You're saying
no, wait. Because that's crazy. That's crazy.
No one
competing with each other over one man and creating all types of confusion and conflict. Sis, I'm not fighting with you over a man. He may be an amazing man, and any man I feel
sis, not necessarily fighting, baby. That's not necessarily. You're not talking about like necessarily fighting over.
No. I'm not speaking physical. I'm not speaking. Physical. I'm saying I'm not going to engage into a competition with you for his attention. Why? Because as men, you already know who you are attracted to. You already know where your interests lie. So why am I going to be in competition with her over you when if your heart is in her space? Then go be with her. What would I look like? The second runner-up is the first loser? Nobody's doing that. This is not a participation award sport. I'm just saying, come on, coach.
I'm just saying, we all would like to believe that. I would like to believe it. I would very easy like to say, I'm in a league, in a lane all by myself. And it sounds wonderful. But I'm wise enough to know that if I think that you're attractive, somebody else do.
Absolutely.
I think that if I speak to you, somebody else will speak to you. If I see you on social media, I'm not the only person that saw you. Somebody else saw you. And somebody else, some of them are bold enough to put comments underneath your pictures, and some will step into your DM. I have to be able to understand that. But that doesn't stop me from going after you because there are other guys out here that want you. I just have to move in my own lane and do what I need to do to get you, to do what I need to do to impress you enough to say, yeah, he's the one. Same way with you as a woman. While I think you're looking at the club beach open, what you consider competition. I get that. I'll sit back while everybody else do. And sometimes that work against you. It depends on the guy. Sometimes it could be a guy that you want, but because you're so laid back, and that is not what we have to understand who we want has to also want us. And so sometimes the laid back girl has lost out. Sometimes the upfront girl has lost out. It just all depends on the guy. Sometimes the girl that is very upfront has lost out. We've seen a lot of movies like that where the guy went for the more quiet girl. He went for the more laid back girl. But on the same token, I've also seen where the laid back girl has lost out because she wasn't assertive. And she wasn't that, she wasn't the one that was dancing, and she wasn't the one that was, and so it just depends on the guy. But I think that we all deal with that. We all, if I go to a club with a bunch of guys and we saw the same girl, may the best man win. You know what I mean? As far as I'm concerned, it's like, okay, I'm not as a guy. Now here's the benefit that you all can have that can't happen for a guy. If a girl is over there and we all see her, it does not benefit that guy to be laid back. Because if he's not one of the ones that pursuing, she's never going to see him. Because of all of these other pursuers in front of her. She's never going to see that guy. As a matter of fact, she's going to take him for less than. She's going to see him less than. She's going to be like, you're not even man enough to come get me. So she's never. So you see how it works? It works the opposite for men.
Yeah, but then you become just as common as you're just the next person who's talking to me. By the fourth person or fifth person that has come and said something, I'm like, I've already heard this 4 times before. You're not going to say anything original to me that the other 4 have not said. I cannot have but so many drinks at a time.
That's true. Because everybody can come speak to you, but there's something about my hello. Something about my hello is going to be totally different than all of the 4 who spoke to you before me. Something about my
all 4 of those hellos are different, huh?
Yeah, it's going to ring different.
You know why? Because with as fine as he is,
it's good.
So hold on. How come for you it could be for as fine as you are, right? But I can't be that girl. Why is that? What is that?
I had to let you be great.
What is see here? You're just letting. You can't let me be something I am.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's my bad.
But do I need to bring back my mama's comment? Do I need to bring it back?
No, she told you to be great. I'm with you.
No, but seriously, you got to find your balance, ladies and gentlemen. Mommy said, Rock, you're going to get in so much trouble.
Oh, Lord. So I better not go to bed after. I might as well sit up and wait for that phone call.
Just sit up and wait. And Auntie Jenny is in the house on tonight. Welcome, Auntie Jenny. Thank you for coming through. But seriously, we've got to find that balance. And this is what we're talking about when it comes to the games of love and love games, because these are the games that people play. These are the things that happen, and you are right, Coach. By all means, and I'm just saying, and this is Dawn. This is just me being Dawn. I am absolutely aware that we are all competing, whether we want to or not. Whether we want to or not, we are all competing all the time in every single way, in ways you can't imagine, whether you want to or not. All I'm saying is, for me personally, I'm not going to go toe to toe. I'm not thinking about my competitors, because then that takes the spotlight off of me in my own eyes. So I just have to keep building me and showing up as me every time we are in our space, until you decide that my space is the only space that you want to be in. Other than that, I'm not, and that's what I said, in my mind's eye, I'm not competing with anyone over anything, because they're not me and I'm not them. We're all women and you're all men, but you're not going to get, you may get the same meal, but it won't be served the same way. Because we all bring something different to the table. We all present differently in many ways. So for me, again, that competitiveness that we go through, and you're right, sometimes women, we do have to speak up. It is okay to approach a man, I believe, and express your interest. I know men, it takes a lot, or I've understood that it takes a lot at times for you to approach a woman, because the dealing with the rejection, like y'all have to deal with rejection a whole lot more than women do, because you take the risk to put yourselves out there a whole lot more in approaching, you know, and women, we have to be more open and more kind, I believe, in the reception of how we receive men when they come. Because it takes a lot for you to get up the courage to approach a woman. It takes a lot. I'm pretty sure. I mean, I've never approached a woman. I don't know. But from what I understand and from what I've heard, it takes a lot. So do y'all want to share anything else on this? Or I have like another question I want to ask y'all.
Let's move on. Let's rock.
All right.
Let's
rock.
Yeah, let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. Chugga-lucka. Let's keep it going.
All right. What is one thing a woman can do now that we are I want to switch off of love games, the games that people the things that people do and play the games to make it seem like it's love. Now I want to switch to one thing of the game of love, again, which is a team sport. It's two people playing for the same team at the same time on the same side for the same goal. Because you can be playing a game, it could be a team sport, but you might be on opposite teams. You could be on the same team and on different sides. But we're talking about now being in the game of love together. What can a woman do to help make you feel more secure? How do I want to put this? Okay, what can a woman do that can make you feel more secure in being vulnerable?
And being vulnerable?
In being vulnerable, period.
She can buy my book. Her lap is a safe place. It's his safe place.
Come get it.
Buy my book.
That is true. That's true. That is true.
Her lap is his safe place. You don't.
That
I need to get that. It's called The Huddle.
It is. Well, that's his other book, but he's talking about his first books. This is an excellent book.
Her lap.
I need those books.
Yeah, I'll later on send you the link.
I sure will.
We're just putting up the huddles on Amazon now, so that's going to be up on Amazon too. As soon as they approved it in 48 hours. But no, I mean, men want to be vulnerable, but we don't want it to be weaponized. We don't want to hear it again. We don't want you to downplay us. See, women sometimes drive us crazy. You want me to be strong and sensitive.
What is one thing that we can do to
the one thing that you can do is, first and foremost, how I hear you talk about other people. If I hear you talking to your mother about everybody, I'm never going to feel safe with you. If I'm telling you something about what I'm dealing with and you go right to your issues, I'm never going to feel safe with you. That's not about you. At this moment, I'm trying to tell you what I am dealing with. If you don't acknowledge what I am dealing with, babe, I'm sorry that you're dealing with it. I hear you. What can I do to make you feel better? Now you're making me start to open up and feel vulnerable. But if you don't acknowledge it and you go straight to giving me an answer, let me help every lady in the chat. Sometime a man being vulnerable, we don't need you to fix it. Sometimes we just need you to listen.
We're listening, not fixing.
Just listen. And matter of fact, sometimes just listen and we can finish the conversation. It's over with and we can move on to something else. I don't need you to address every situation. I don't need you to correct me. I don't need you to check me about it. Sometimes I don't need the motivation. You're an amazing person. Your job need to know that and forget them. Sometimes I'm not in that space. I'm just venting right now. I'm just venting that my boss don't get it. My job don't get it. I'm just venting. And I don't need you to always fix it all the time. Sometimes you just gotta listen. Sometimes I'm telling you, Rock would agree. Sometimes I just want you to sit there and just go.
Mm-hmm.
Because at that moment, and when you're doing that, first of all, you make us lose our train of thought because we're not like y'all. So if we on a roll and you cut us off, then we like forget, and we get frustrated so easy because we it's hard for us to get vulnerable anyway. And if we're having a vulnerable moment and you cut us off, then we'd be like, just forget it, man. Just
forget it.
Just forget it, man. Just forget it. Just forget it. Because I'm trying to talk to you. I'm having a moment, and you got your 300 words to my one. And we get frustrated quickly. Like we really do. We don't want to be vulnerable anyway because we always feel like it's a sign.
This dude right here, boy, I tell you. He was as bad as mom. He was as bad as mom with this face.
I got one word. And you get one word in, and she got like blah, 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 blah.
No, you're right, but it's just I just can't believe you said it.
We keep it real here. We keep it real.
Just can I finish? Whenever man throw up his hands and go, can I finish?
Yep.
I am saying, give me a minute. Then what happens is, so how you can do that is let me know. First of all, you hear me. Mm-hmm. Second of all, you don't have to fix it. Third of all, is that you're not going to hear this again. I'll end with this. I don't want to get into a disagreement with you and you bring up my moment. I don't want to get in a disagreement with you and you punk me with my moment. You know, you was being soft and you were being, because let me tell you something, ladies, I wrote it in my book. If you ever mismanage, because it's about my book, Rock, is about Samson and Delilah. I talk about how she created a tremendous safe lab for you. Great. He said, well, what about the haircut? The haircut came because of one result. He mismanaged his secrets.
Yes.
He asked for the secrets. Tell me your secrets. And then she mismanaged the secret and it cut him. Whenever you mismanage any man's secret, you cut him. And once you cut us, we'll never be the same. We'll never tell you nothing else. And Lady Dawn, you messed it up for the next woman that come after. So sometimes you get a man that won't open up to you, Lady Dawn. It may not be you, but you don't know. Let me say, as I say in the winter rifle, you don't know the heifers that was before you.
That
you don't know what they did to him. So he may not. As a good woman like you may say, why he won't open up to me? It may not have nothing to do with you. It might have been the sisters that was before you that mismanaged his secrets, and now he finds it, because men, we are unforgiving. We don't give too many chances of you to punk us. We just don't do it. So I would say if you do all of those things, you can do it. It's very possible to do it. You got to create an environment, but don't look for it to happen all of a sudden, immediately in the first year. Got to give it some time. But if you give it some time and you create it right, a man will pour into you, and that'll be the greatest relationship you'll ever have. When you can get a man to be vulnerable, it'll be the greatest relationship. Rock.
That's an awesome share. Before we go to Rock, I just want to read my girl Marilyn's comment because I love her so much. She says, they need you to listen to hear. And that is important. Thank you for that, Marilyn. Amen. And yes, ma'am. They need you to listen to hear. And those are great, great points. I hope we are writing them down. I would say one thing I've learned to do up front, this is just a little something when I'm in a relationship, I have learned to pause. I see you're having a day in a moment and you're about to explode. And I would just say, babe, hold on 1 second. I just want to ask, am I listening? Do you want me to respond, or do you want me to, are you just wanting to vent? Like, you want me to listen? And the reason being is because, like you said, sometimes you want us to listen and not fix anything. And I want to make sure that I'm serving you in the right way. So sometimes, in the beginning, and you learn after a while, the person that you're with. But I think that communication is important, just to ask up front, like, is this a listening moment, or is this just so I know because I want to make sure I'm showing up in your space right. I don't want it, ladies. We do have to learn how to stop cutting them off, letting men finish. When a man starts speaking, let him finish. Even if he stops to take a breath, just don't jump in. Just ask, like, are you good, or something, so that we just know how to give you your space. I'm gonna read this comment, and then Rock, you are up next. Anitra says, but is that right? Sometimes you have to consider that mismanagement was not intentional. I will say the space for grace has to be part of the relationship. Absolutely. Wait, hold on. The space for grace has to be a part of every relationship on both sides. I think that, I don't want to say the error, but I think the consideration has to be that whether the mismanagement was intentional or not, it still yields the same results in the end. So it may not be malicious, but the effect or effect that it caused is the same. So now it's, how do you repair that? Although we know that, again, it may not have been purposeful, unlike Delilah, but at the end of the day, that man still now has a hurt.
The results are still the same.
They're still right. There's still a trust. The seal of trust is broken. Correct. And now we have to figure out how to fix it. So, and he may even know, and this is where I think anyone runs into the war, having the war. You got a war with two members within themselves, because you're like, I know they didn't mean it, but that doesn't stop it from hurting. I know they didn't mean it, but it doesn't fix the situation. So while grace is there, we also have to be mindful of the fact that the result is still the same. I'm just going to read through these comments real quick, and then Rock, you got it. I'm sorry. Marilyn says, we as women are intrusive. Yes, we very much can be. We want to heal the hurt, and that is not our place unless you are invited. I love that, Marilyn. I absolutely agree. It is the nurturer in us that happens to pop out all the time. But I think sometimes we have to remember, and ladies, you may get mad at me, and maybe not. It's okay. I'm still in the women's club. But we got to remember, this is your man, not your child.
That part.
This is your man, not your child. Yes, we are here to partner with him in healing his hurts, but we are not here to save him from them as we would our child. So we have to make sure we are managing our intrusiveness in the right way. I will intrude in my son's life, and even now I'm learning to pull back, because he's going to be, he's 23. He's a young man. He don't need me to put a Band-Aid on all his wounds. So I have to not be intrusive. I have to wait for him to invite me in. But your man, your husband, like you said, let that man invite you in, and then, and even then, walk lightly. Let's not take over. Anitra says, Delilah intentionally revealed Samson's secret. Right. She did. And sometimes we as women, that's what Coach was talking about, weaponizing what has been shared. We cannot, first of all, oh Lord Jesus, see, let's go another way. First of all, if this is your mate and your partner, you should not want to wound him to begin with. There are certain words and certain statements that should never come out of your mouth maliciously.
Every time I get a thought, you or Coach say it, and I don't got a thought. Now I got to get a whole nother thought.
Okay, no, I'm gonna stop talking about it. I'm gonna leave it right there. I'm gonna leave it there because I want you to share.
Oh my goodness!
I'm going to the next comment. Michelle said that APAC is sexy cologne. I don't know, but come on, big bro, come on. I was setting it up for you.
I'm gonna start out with this. Good intentions can still produce bad results, and I will also say, many times we say things and we hide behind grace, or we hide behind, oh, it wasn't purposely done. We know when we about to say something. If you spend time with someone, you should know what you about to say, if it's going to help or hurt. And what happens is, many times we say it because we feel it need to be said, or we say it because we want to say it. And then we say things sometimes, and we be like, well, if you're a woman or if you're a man, you should be able to handle what I'm saying. No, that's not necessarily true. because you got to understand the person is in a vulnerable position. They're being vulnerable. So when somebody put themselves in a vulnerable position, you got to handle that with delicacy. You got to handle that with tender love and care. Even if it calls you to bite your tongue until it bleeds, you need to do that because, like Coach was saying earlier, listen, I'm all man, and if I give my heart and you step on it, you can hang it up. I don't care if you're a brother, sister, I don't care who it is. You won't get that opportunity no more. Because the thing about it is it's hard for some men to make themselves vulnerable, especially how we were raised. Because we were raised that was weak. We were raised that you acting like a little girl. We were raised stop being so feminine. So when you get a guy that's expressive and want to share his thoughts and be intimate with you and share his deepest thoughts and his deepest secret, that's a plus that you should embrace, right? But if you mismanage it because you just got to say something, oh no, I didn't say that. You know if we know if something's going to be said, how it's going to affect the person. We're not as that naive as we want to portray we are, right?
True.
And because the intention was good, sometimes even good intentions should be kept on hold. Even like sometimes when me and you talking, baby sis, when me and you talking, baby sis, and you talking, I'm just because when you're talking and you start responding, you be like, "What are you talking? What did you just say?" Because when a person enters into their vulnerability, you got to know how to handle that.
True.
And sometimes, like the young lady said earlier, you have to learn to listen to hear. All you doing is a listener. You just got to listen. And I'm gonna tell you this: sometimes, even when they ask a question, you still got to be careful and use wisdom if you're going to answer that question or not. Because sometimes my wife, I'll be like, "Yeah, I hear you. No, go ahead. I just want to hear more." She's like, "Oh, okay." You see what I'm saying? You don't know. You don't always have to even interject, even when you're invited, because you have to know that moment. And if she's in a place where she's never been before and I've never seen before, I gotta be like, "Oh, no, go ahead. I'm listening."
You gotta learn it.
Yeah, you gotta, because there's different levels of vulnerability. There's different levels. Because we all got something only me and God, the person and God knows. And when you share that with somebody, now it's me, baby sis, and God. You got to know how to handle it. And you have to know what level of vulnerability the person is in. And the only way you will know that is you have to know the person. So we got to stop mismanaging and mishandling it and fumbling people's vulnerability and be like, "Oh, it wasn't that." And it kills me when people say, "All I said," well, if it was just all you said, then it probably all didn't need to be said. If that's all it was, then it don't need to be said. So, and we just got to be careful because you only get one shot with me. I'm just being real. You only get one shot with me. And many times it's a test. So if we're talking, I might say something and I see how you handle it. Oh, can't get vulnerable with them.
That's big bro, for sure.
You can't get vulnerable with them because you don't want to just drop something in somebody's life because everybody can't handle your vulnerability either. That's if right. Me and Coach is talking, he might only tell me but so much. He can sense if I go here, he's not going to be able to handle that because what he said over here and how I know how he feel about this. And then I know how he feel about that. So if I say this could mess him up. So I can't go this far with him. I got to stop right here. Sometimes we got to know when to stop because it takes growth from the hearer.
Yeah, no.
They're not at that maturity level for you to dump a certain level of vulnerability on them. They got to mature to that. Right. And so, we just gotta be more, I don't even know what word to use. We just gotta, a lot of it's just growing up. You said we gotta be more
mindful?
More mindful. We just gotta be more mindful of that. And when and let's not, when somebody's being vulnerable, let's not make it about us. Because when you have questions and you doing this and you got
Rewind, repeat that again.
when somebody's being vulnerable, don't stop making it be about, don't make it be about us.
Not
It's
about
them.
you.
If they're vulnerable, it's about them, but we want to make it about us.
What you said, Coach?
So for instance, if I say
Not about
Coach,
you.
like if I say Coach, if you know, when
felt
we're
that from your soul, felt it.
yeah,
I said yes, because I just said
if I say Coach,
today.
you know, every time we go on these lives, you know, when I'm talking, you know, you overtalk me. See, that's a place of vulnerability because I'm touching with him, right? But then if he jump out there and say, yeah, but boom, but see, you see what I'm saying? It's you can't do that. You be like, you know what, bro? You know what? I'm sorry. We'll work. We'll get it together. When you know, we'll just take our turns. You know, I do get a little excited, but it's okay. You know, but we don't do that. We make it about it's always. So if I say, well,
it's not your turn.
So if me and you talking, baby sis, and I say something, you be like, oh, so you saying this is what I do, and you saying boom, 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 and see now you done made it about you, and then the man go, it's okay, I'm good. Because if you ever hear me say I'm good, I'm done with it. It ain't coming back.
I'm done with it.
Back.
We the same
If
person.
I say I'm good,
it's dead.
It's dead. It's buried. It's not going to resurrect. It's dead and it's buried. Because the thing about it is, now if I say, how did you get that out of what I just said? Wait a minute. Okay, I'm gonna try this one more time, baby. I'm gonna try this one more time. Listen to me closely. What I'm saying is, yeah, I heard what you said, but I'm like, hold on, big bro. I heard what you said, but what I'm saying is, well, how did it become about you?
They be in the
flip mode all the time. I'm telling you how I'm sharing with you something about your big brother. So we can grow in the relationship, and you making it about you. It ain't about you.
It's called flip mode. It's
called flip mode.
It's not your turn, right? It's not
called flip mode, right? See, he interrupted now. That's what I'm saying. What I was saying earlier. No, but that's what it is. It's called flip mode, and you know, and the thing about it is, and we too sensitive. When somebody is sharing something, why are we always thinking it's about us? What is it in that person's mind that if somebody's sharing, how did you make that about you? I didn't even call your name wasn't even called in the names that I mentioned when I was talking. So how did you make all that about you? You know, so we just got to be mindful that when people enter the realm of vulnerability, we got to learn how to handle it accordingly and properly. We mishandling too much more, and then when men shut down or when women shut down, and then because you sometimes you only get one shot, and let me tell you something. That one shot is they don't make themselves vulnerable in no areas of their life to you anymore. So now you're only 2 years in a marriage, and the Lord bless you to be married for 45. So you got 43 years of nothing.
My God,
because you mishandled it 43 years ago. And then when we mishandle it, we're too prideful and we got that haughty spirit. We don't want to correct it.
Correct.
We don't want to fix it. We don't, you know what, big bro, you're right. I've been thinking, you're right. I didn't allow you to express yourself. I didn't allow you to say what was on your mind. And when you're ready, I would like that. If you see fit, I would like another opportunity to hear you. We don't even do that because I got a right to say I got a right to say how I feel, but it ain't about you. If you want to say how you feel, then you should have started a conversation up, and we could have talked about that. But please don't start a conversation about something when I come to you with something, and then all of a sudden you want to talk about other stuff. So we just gotta be mindful. We just gotta do what we gotta do. And that's in all relationships, not just husbands and wives, but that's siblings, kinship, relationship. That's pastor and members and pastor and leadership. That's the panel, even on this panel. Right. When somebody opens up, we got to learn how to just sit and listen to what they got to say. Because people might open up on the panel one night. One night, me, coach, or you You might. We gotta be quiet because they no joking, no laughing, because they some vulnerability is coming out. So we just gotta learn how to. We just gotta learn. We gotta have a sensitivity to when people become vulnerable. Yeah.
No, let's get what. Listen, y'all heard it here. I'm not even gonna touch it. Ladies, y'all heard it from the men. I hope y'all were taking notes, and if you didn't, make sure you catch the replay as soon as we're done, because there's some nuggets and some gems that was dropped tonight, so that we can learn how to show up better for our men and vice versa, so that they can know how to show up better for us, and so that while we are in this life's journey, we can go from playing love games to getting into the game of love. When we play love games, it is individualistic. It is from a selfish perspective, and our motive is to fill our own cups and not be concerned about anybody else's. But when we get to the game of love, I've said it about 4 times tonight, I'm going to say it again. It is a team sport. It is 2 people playing on the same team at the same time, in the same place, on the same side for the same goal. And that is what we should want when it comes to relationship. It doesn't mean it's going to be perfect all the time. It doesn't mean that there won't be some bumps along the way. It does not mean that everything is going to fall into place perfectly. It's like a puzzle. You got to try all the pieces in the box. They do fit, but you got to take your time and build the border, and then find out where the rest of the pieces go within it. And then when you're finished, you end up with a beautiful picture that you both have created. And that's the kind of love that we should want. So I'm going to let the gentlemen give their final comments on tonight. This was great. I hope you guys enjoyed this conversation. We're going to bring it back because I still want us to do it the way I intended to do it. Unfortunately, life happens, but, we keep pressing forward because I need the ladies. So we're going to do this. We're going to turn this into, we're going to bring back the verses, the ladies' room versus the men's lounge. And we're going to have Rock. We're going to have Coach. We're going to have King. I'll have to pull Mr. Grateful into this. We're going to get Anitra. We're going to have Haven. We're going to, I might even have to, I know I can't bring moms on. She going to have to be a referee or something. But we're going to get the ladies involved, and we are going to go question for question, toe to toe. We're going to spot up one against the other or with each other so that we can break down some barriers of misconceptions in relationships so that we can all learn to get along better and have better ships, whatever that ship is, your relationship, your marriage, whatever the ship is, because there's a whole bunch of ships. Right. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed this conversation on tonight. Thank you for joining us for the month of February. I'm going to let the gentlemen give their final comments before we wrap up this on tonight. Come on, Coach, give us your thoughts and comments on tonight.
Well, here is the bottom line. Since I got a better understanding of what you were talking about with games, tricks are for kids. And
amen.
If you play silly games, you get silly prizes.
Mm-hmm.
You must be prepared that there's a consequence to every decision that we make. And so, while I am not accepting of the things that we do or the responses, it is what it is. If you get into a relationship with a woman that you're not serious, you got to prepare yourself for how these 21st century women are crazy. They are, and you may not be here tomorrow fooling with them. So you got to be
very different.
So you got to be able to understand that playing with people's emotions. On the same token, the vulnerability of understanding that people are not, I don't know how serious people are in relationship. Marriage is not on the front table anymore as it used to be. While people are still getting married, they're getting married, but less people are getting married than they have in the past. Now people are just accepting anything. And so I want us to be very careful with the love games. playing with people's heart, playing with people's emotions, because the end result cannot be good. Even if it's not a physical detriment, it is an emotional detriment. It is a mental detriment that when she or he goes on to the next person, now they have walls that they have built up. They have baggage that they have not unpacked. And they have open wounds that have never been closed. So that's why, in our room, we pray every day, especially among single people. We pray against that. We pray against the
triggers, buttons,
and the buttons and the triggers, because people have them. People are no longer patient in that area. They no longer want that. They no longer want to be in relationships where I have to take on somebody else's trauma, somebody else's triggers, or somebody else's buttons. We don't have those patients. So this love game, my girl, she sang the song about love being a crazy situation. You know what I mean? And it is. It as Lauryn Hill, she talks about this love thing. This love thing being really, 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 really crazy. And so I think that if we learn to understand and respect the love game will respect you. We get back in it, it'll be good to you. We don't have the same respect for the love game. We obviously don't. We want 2 or 3, 4 people. We don't have the respect for the love game. And but it is a game. I'll say this and I'll end. It is a game that you can win. There are people. Rock is winning. Him and his wife got a relationship. They married. He's an example of people that are winning. So I've been divorced and they've been divorced, but I still got hope. I still believe. And after the way I prayed, I started to call Bishop on the way I prayed about the right one coming on yesterday. The right one is coming. You know what I mean? And I still believe that there's a woman that will love every inch and every part of me. I still believe that I would find that individual that I can love. And it won't be a game. The only game that we're playing is the way we built this love game together. So I'm there. So thank you for tonight. Appreciate it. I'm rocking with you. If I'm available, I'm on. I love you.
You're gonna be available.
For sure.
You're gonna be. I'm not gonna threaten you with the prayer room like I did last time. I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna play nice. Marilyn says, great conversation tonight. Thank you, beautiful. I am so glad that you came. And now that you found me, you stuck with me. There's one way in and no way out. That's what I tell everybody. I love you. And they say you don't have nothing. There's nothing you can do about it. I say I love you, and there is something you can do about it. You love me back. You ain't got no choice. Come on, big bro. Come give us your final comments on tonight. That's right.
My final comment is, let's stop allowing our preconceived thoughts haunt us. Preconceived thought is any thought that was planted in your mind that you have not experienced. And also preconceived thought can also make you see something that's not really there. Mm-hmm. So let's learn how to come up with our own thoughts and our own experience and stop living by what people of yesteryear said, and let's live by what's actually going on in our lives. Because preconceived thoughts can be very detrimental emotionally and mentally. So we have to, I just want to, encourage everybody to think for yourself. A lot of people tell you, I'm an independent thinker. Big baby sister tell you, I don't always go with the program. Like, no, I don't see that. I don't understand. No, I'm not going that way. Because it's okay to have an independent thought. As long as productive, as long as healthy, as long as it has balance, it's okay. You don't have to go on with because if you hear something long enough, you begin to believe it, even though you've never been through it. So we have to be careful. Let's be careful, and let's start giving some of these preconceived thoughts expiration dates in our mind. Let's give them eviction notices. We got to give them eviction notices. you know, all men are this and all women are this, and you can't trust no man, and women is, and you can't buy men's shoes because they walk out of your life, and you can't do this because of this, and you can't. That's just crazy. And we grow up and we believe these things, and that's what's killing our relationships. These preconceived thoughts. Let's just get all that, you know. Let's get some eviction notices out to these things, and let's look at all relationships, the marriages, the dating, kinships, relationships, or whatever, and let's give them an honest look. Because when you go on preconceived thoughts, you're living through somebody else's mindset.
That's it. Okay, you heard it here. I want to thank you both for your shares on tonight. Thank you, big bro. I appreciate and love you so much like none other. Coach, you already know what it is. So we go back like we're climbing. That's right. And if you're not following the two of them, please do. Please do. And I would just, again, thank everyone for coming and joining us to this conversation on tonight. February has been an amazing month. 2025 is off to the greatest start ever. This is year number 3 or 4. I don't remember, but we just going to keep on pushing on this train. I do want to end by saying to you that, you know, we've lost in love long enough. So now it's time for us to make up our minds and learn to love boldly. Learn to love each other boldly. It's okay to love and be in love. It's okay to own it. It's all right to be happy. Don't fear from it and don't hide from it. Commitment is not a curse, and intentionality is not a sign of weakness. And just remember that love games is a selfish space to be in. It is singular. It is only about you. And there is nothing, it is very limited in what it can give. But when you play the game of love with the right partner, on the right team, with the right goals, or the same goals, same space, same team, at the same time, you will always, always win. So thank you guys for joining us. As you know, I'm your Thursday night host, Lady Dawn B, here on the Bravo with Sheila Network, the greatest network on these YouTube streets to ever do it. I want to invite you back for the month of March because we're going to keep on coming with hitting conversation. March is Women's History Month, so it's going to be about the ladies. We're going to start off the month with the ladies' room. That's right. We bring in the females back into the building. So me and my girls gonna be here chopping it up about some good female stuff. No man bashing, but we gonna work on ourselves. And we're gonna start off by talking about fixing our own crowns. That's what we're gonna do. We're also gonna get into conversation. That's right. It's self-reflection time. We're gonna talk about the value of a woman. We're gonna get back into our groove with the verses of the ladies' room versus the men's lounge, and we're gonna end off the month of March with ladies who lead, so we can learn how to be leading ladies. And no, I'm not talking about in the church. I'm talking about in life. So please make sure that you like, subscribe, and share this channel with someone. I love you all. I pray you have had an amazing time here with us tonight. Invite a friend. Come back and see us again. I'll be back here on Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right. I love y'all. And like I said, the only thing that you can do is love me back. I hope you guys have a great, great evening. And we will see you again soon. Hang in there with me for one moment, guys, as we shut down the show.
You ain't with the news on. Get down.